Hey guys, we are back with another Magical Girls Explains video. And you're probably wondering why am I here, because I said that my friend Alina was gonna voice this one. Well, kind of hit it in here. She was being lazy again and did not want to do it, so let's just get started with it. I'm back, and let's get this over with Alia Gray's story finally here. Alina Gray is a 16-year girl. She is 159 centimeters high, her eyes are green, and her hair is a bright green with a yellow highlight color. She originates from Sake Ward in Kamihama City. Her soul gem is a green shield-shaped gem, located on a ribbon tie on her neck. Her Richin doppel is named Dorothy. And her weapon is a light construction Rubik's Cube, originally known for being a toy and solve a puzzle by matching all colors. Alia uses it as a weapon to attack her enemies. Her wish was to have an area where no one can disturb her. I want an area where no one can disturb me. She attends Sake General High School and she is in the 10th grade. Her magical girl element is the forest element, and her ability is barrier generation. A magical girl who is trying to create a world where no one has to become a witch. Alia is an artistic genius, obsessed with life and death, who pours herself into her work, dreaming of making masterpieces featuring witches themselves. She used herself as a subject for one of her art when she is in her creative slump. The doppel of fever. Its form is a tube. The master of this doppel is entranced by the beauty of her own doppel, but it has yet to realize that it is still hiding its true form. It attacks from where it sprouts out of her neck and her back. Using a large projection of itself made from a hand-hearted paint, Pachadin tempera, it emits. It boosts a witch-like figure as it does this. Despite its doppel nature, this is because its human body becomes so coated in paint that she is no longer visible. The master couldn't verify the appearance of her doppel, but apparently it is just as beautiful when you view it from the inside. In the main story of Magi Record, Alia's first appearance as she encounters Itaro and Sana in the anonymous AI labyrinth. In the 2017 game, Monica, Kaname, and Homura Kemi are there too. One of them asks what has they done with Mami Tomoe, or knows where she is, or what happened to her. She refuses to answer, but does mention her. In the 2020 anime, Monica and Homura have not been revealed, because this is from season 1. Only Itaro goes to the labyrinth with little Kyubey and encounters her, with Sana Ai-chan. They get into a fight with Vara in both versions of the anime and game. Ai-chan kicks out Alia from the labyrinth when Sana killed Ai-chan, and Itaro and her are released from the labyrinth. Get into another fight with Alia, but are joined with Felicia, Truno, and Yasho, and in the 2017 game with Monica and Homura. The fight is then stopped by Mifu in the 2017 game, and in the 2020 anime, Mami stops her by shooting her hat off. Alia wins a Modern Art Award for her artwork she did. At school, people discuss about the artwork, which is a self-portrait of Alia. The students then say Alia couldn't think of anything for the prize and just snapped all the wood that was in the prep room. According to this rumor, Alia only got the idea to make a self-portrait when she was about to snap the canvases in two. She had a junior take a photo of her and then drew herself based on that. However, then coated her image in sand, which confused the students telling the rumor. Alia overhears this. At the club room with Karine Mizuno, that's it. Alia takes her milk and Karine says it's mean. But Alia says it's more than mean to talk about people behind their backs. Karine says she was happy that Alia won the award and she was the one who took the photo. Alia says Karine needs to work hard on her own art to be proud of herself. Karine apologizes and says how Alia is amazing. Alia calls her foolish and then leaves. Alia thinks if she were actually aiming for the prize, she wouldn't care if the story was let out. However, she was more into creating art just to simply create. Alia remembered that one of the judges was gonna come up to her in the past. Later, Alia is called to the teacher's office. There was a guest waiting to see her, saying that it's the judge she was supposed to meet. She mutters she'll pass. All of a sudden, a teacher barges into the room Alia was in and told her not to make them wait any longer. When Alia remains obstinate, the teacher tells her not to be spoiled and asks her if she realizes how many people wanted the prize. Alia says if that was the case, she'll give the prize back. The teacher tells her to come, but Alia runs off. Alia goes to the restaurant. Karine, who is looking for her, finds Alia there. Karine says she has a letter from the judge saying she wasn't taken to meet them. Alia apologizes. Karine says she wants to go buy some supplies with Alia, but Alia says Karine is too much of a free girl. Alia says to hold on for a moment. Alia soon reads the letter and says she will be leaving. As Alia wanders down the street, all Alia could think about was the letter. It said, It seems you are capable of creating work that is so beautiful and archaic that viewers will think about it until their deaths. However, your work, which has no experimental theme, is a powerful drug that might drive people insane. That's why I want to tell you this. If you don't want to change the world, stop creating. You are only 15 years old. If you haven't realized this, your brilliance will probably run out. Alia doesn't understand. Alia thinks it could be a message that Alia was trying to get out in a piece of art she was making. That's what the letter meant. She thinks this is the person to talk about Alia's values and not her work. Alia says she wouldn't mind if her art was some kind of poison or drug. Alia admits she doesn't know why she creates art and decides to review how she got to where she was. Alia heads to an art gallery that is exhibiting her works. Heads over to one of the museum workers, a girl by the name of Mayu Kozu. Alia asked her, is there a poster that is listing her past works of art, saying her parents should have sent the information. Mayu says she will check and brings her a poster. Alia says the poster has too much information and asks if it can be replaced with a similar version she'll send. Mayu says she will ask. The poster says she was born in Seki Ward in Kiminhama City and that her parents own an art gallery called Gallery Grey. At the age of 8, when Alia's dog and grandpa's parents died, she had became fascinated by the transformation of living creature into object and began trying to despite the boundaries between life and death. Alia used time-lapse photography in posting skeletons, ultimately creating her first artwork at the age of 11. Alia created several works since then, including a picture drawn at the age of 14 using charcoal that came from a carbonized corpse. Alia mutters if she goes over her art again, she has nothing to question. However, she does revisit the inspiration from the things that excite her. Alia thanks Mayu and prepares to leave. Before Alia leaves, Mayu says Alia's art is amazing. Alia wonders if Mayu has fallen to her drug and if her balance will fade at the age of 15. Alia thinks she needs to be more creative. She tries to make stuff in a club room, but is disappointed. Corinne asks Alia to take a look at a new character that she made for her manga. However, Alia begins destroying her painting, saying it was too exciting, sentimental, or emotional enough. Corinne points out that Alia was working on it all week. Alia simply destroys it and asks Corinne to take a photo. Alia looks at it and says it's terrible. Alia thinks her work has become trash because she has nothing, even when she was making artwork that with her inspiration and senses, she was empty. Alia says she decided to jump while narrating that her art should have been more brilliant. Having been told that her art has no experimental theme, Alia noticed where she was lacking. She thinks it's something that can't change even if she traveled the world and saw many sights. It's implied she did just that, as Alia says that in 1 month she hasn't changed at all. She thinks her brilliance really will fade at 15. Alia returns to the club and is met by Corinne, who asks where Alia has been. Alia says she was enjoying a bit of travel. She asks if Corinne disturbed the painting she broke. Corinne says the teachers told her to leave it alone, thinking that its broken state was a part of the art. Alia thinks the teachers are foolish. Alina critiques Corinne's manga. Corinne says that Alia hasn't drawn anything this day and that she's been acting strange even before taking a trip. Corinne asked if it's okay if it's because of the letter she gave Alia. Alia hesitates, then asks Corinne what sort of theme she has in mind when she draws. When Corinne doesn't understand, Alia asks her why she wants to draw manga. Corinne asks if that will make Alia feel better. Alia admits she doesn't know. Corinne says she draws because she wants to make its readers feel better, just like how she does when she reads the manga Magical Corinne. Alina says that Corinne wants to spend happiness to others and says she might be more of a genius than she is. Corinne insists she isn't, but Alia leaves. Alia thinks that even Corinne has something she doesn't. She mutters that she can't give birth to anything but a powerful drug, and that she'll lose her brilliance at 15. She then starts laughing and says that gave her shivers. While near a riverbank, Alia decides she is nearing her death as an artist. Believing herself empty, she says that her realization of this has caused her past works to lose their luster. Alia decides to break all of her old art, including herself. She says that her last artwork will be to go out to a blaze of glory. Go out into a blaze of glory. And when her brilliance fades, her body will walk away. A voice tells her if she would really be alright with that. The voice reveals itself to be Kyubey. Alina thinks he's a weasel and wonders if something is wrong with her head. Kyubey says she's in a normal state and introduces himself. Alina says it could be fun to listen to what he has to say. Kyubey says she's a type of human that is the most difficult to understand and offers her a contract. Alina says if it's like a fantasy and says she doesn't have a wish. Kyubey says Alina seems to be in a state similar to when humans are worrying. He offers to help her cheer her worries. Alina says she wouldn't understand and that it would be pointless to get what she wants just by wishing for it. Kyubey points out she would still have what she wants. Alina hits him in response and says he doesn't get it. Kyubey says she possesses great potential, but Alina has no intention of using it and has already decided on making her final piece of art. Kyubey begins to ask something, but Alina leaves. She then resolves to create her last artwork. The next day, Alina walks through the city looking happy. She turns out to be excited over her impending end and thinks the holiday couldn't get any better. Arriving at the art gallery, Alina pulls out a hammer and saw starts destroying her art. A shocked Miyu calls for help, and a man shows up, but Alina leaves. Alina then heads to a roof, saying that it will end with her. She thinks that she'll record the moment where all of her light disappears. Kyubey appears again and asks her to reconsider becoming a magical girl. Alina hits him again and says if she solved her problems with a wish, and be herself anymore. Kyubey suggests she wish for something else. Alina says she wants Kyubey to go away and then realizes that she might not have a bad wish. She explains that her parents often get mad at her for spending all of the time painting and so makes her wish. I want an area where nobody can disturb me. Kyubey tries to explain more about being a magical girl, but Alina tells him to be quiet. She says she mixed this wish with her life and death, and soon it will be lost as well. As Kyubey tells her to stop, Alina completes her art and jumps off the roof. Kyubey says he doesn't understand why Alina narrates a message to everyone who said she was a genius artist. The last piece of artwork, she narrates that they were the ones intoxicated with her art who valued it so much it's shown that Alina landed in a field of flowers and was set up a video camera to record her death. There is a silence for a long time. Suddenly a voice calls out that there's a person. While floating in a gray haze, Alina finds herself disappointed. She realized that she always had a theme and there was never anything wrong with her in the first place. Her theme was simply her beauty. Alina mutters that knowing that it was pointless now and wonders if dying was really worth it. She thinks the worst possible ending for her final work to be a failure. She finds herself wanting to the place she wished it for. Suddenly, Alina wakes up in the hospital, finding that she can't move. Alina wonders if she was drifting in the space between life and death. She thinks that place had nothing. She was just there digging. Alia is in her broken thoughts when Corinne calls out to her. Corinne says she's happy Alia woke up and says she could have died if someone didn't find her. Corinne then starts crying. Alia says Corinne shouldn't cry because she was just using her body to make her final artwork. Says she doesn't understand and asks if Alia will turn herself into art again. Alia says she won't because she found her theme, but she still doesn't fully feel like she's alive. Corinne grabs her hand and says she is alive. Alia admits she's right. Alia notices Corinne is carrying a bag and asks what was it. Corinne says she bought her Phantom Thief Magical Corinne manga and gives it to Alia, and then she leaves. Alina reads the manga but can't seem to understand it. Suddenly she hears a knock on the door of their hospital room. It turns out to be Toka, Satomi, and Nemo Hiraki. Toka says hello and Nemo says she feels relieved. It turns out that they were the ones who found Alia. Alia thanks them, prompting Nemo to say that was outrageously matter of fact. Toka asks if Alia is the famous Alia Gray, having heard about her on television. Nemo says her psychedelic LS in him had a lot of young visitors. Alia says she didn't know that. Alia hands her a flyer which talks about the trepidation of madness of youth. Alia realizes the picture on the flyer is from when she was destroying her artwork. Alia says it's better than being changed for breach of contract and damages. Alia asks if that's all. Nemu says that they came to hear Alia think for saving them. Toka says Alia must have hit a miraculous jackpot for her to be found by Toka and Nemu, and asks if for her thanks in exchange. Alia calls them shameless and tells them to go away. Toka says it's not hard, and both of her and Nemo say please. Alia asks what they want to do. Toka explains they want her to have a talk with them. Alia is confused. Afterwards, Alia says that they were weird kids. Kyubey appears and says that they have the same potential as she does. Alia asks what happened to her. Kyubey explains that when she became a magical girl, Alia's body became able to fight against witches, and that's the primary reason why she survived. Alia admits her final artwork didn't work out, but says she's grateful. Alia explains that she found her theme and got the place she wished for. Alia says she was a fool to think her work has no theme and says she won't stop creating. She claims that what she sends out will be her beauty. Alia senses something which Kyubey explains is the presence of a witch. Alia transforms and says she will greet it as a new magical girl. She enters the witch's rear and fights the familiars, laughing the whole time. Kyubey says her reaction is unusual. Alia says that this world is overflowing with life forms of such a unique design. She says it gives her the shivers. Alia narrates that the material of her next artwork will be you. She claims she will show everyone her beauty and that will become drunk on her art. Alia starts laughing and says it gives her the shivers. Because of her wish, Alina has the ability to summon her own labyrinths at will. With this ability, she is able to hold other witches within it without the risk of them escaping. She uses the power to feed victims to whatever witch she currently has captured to make it stronger, and to trap witches together until they eat each other, and is thus the reason why all the witches of Kamehama are stronger than elsewhere. In the anime, she is able to contain witches' familiars in sense of their own labyrinths with the cubes of her weapon, which were able to be given to a used by others to release and capture whatever is imprisoned inside. The pain her doppel creates is capable of making whoever becomes in contact with it go mad. However, as this did not seem to be the case for Sana Futaba, this was likely either an oversight or she must constantly choose to inflict insanity on her targets. The characters of her name use katakana, as her parents may be foreign-born. In her side story, it states Alina was born in Sekigahara of Kamehama City. Alina's name means bright and beautiful. Fact 1. Old Dorothy is a reference to a woman who was rumored to be a witch whose name was Dorothy Cutterback. Fact 2. Her doppel type, being that of fever, may refer to a wish as people inflicted with an illness that could cause an epidemic, or are often to put in spaces where no one can disturb them. Quarantine. Fact 3. While Alina Gray is a foreign name, her origins are listed as Sekika Ward, implying that she may be half Japanese or has a foreign parents that moved to Japan before or after she was born. Fact 4. The name of Alina's Magi and personal memoria refers to Fuzosu, a genre of Japanese paintings from the 13th throughout the 19th centuries. These paintings, despite the 9 stages of a human corpse, according to Buddhist belief, in certain Buddhist traditions, monks were taught to reflect on these stages to better understand and transcend the physical world. In fact 5, Alina Gray's Japanese voice actor is Ayana Takakatsu, who is known for voicing Pipumi in episode 2 of Pop Team Epic, Riva Suka Karigagaya in Sword Art Online Alicization, Azuzu Nakano in K-On! English voice actor is Sharon Lee, who I Silverchan know from a lot of different animes, so yeah. But her normal roles being Patty Thompson in Soul Eater, Lucy Harfila in Fairy Tail, Elizabeth Mitford in Black Butler, and of course, Makoto Nijima in Persona 5, and the anime. Boy, I love Persona. So now we reach the ending of Alina Gray's side story. Unfortunately, Catalina was supposed to put her thoughts on this character. I thought she would like the character because of, she really likes Black Butler, and I think she will like to, know that the English voice actor played it Elizabeth Mitford in Black Butler, but unfortunately, she was being too of a lazy little brat. Sorry for calling her brat if you're calling this, but you know you are. If you're watching this video, cat. And so, basically, that is basically it. And basically, yeah, that's it. And the next magical girl we'll be talking to is Nemu Hiragi. Stay tuned.